The phone buzzed in my pocket while I was juggling a cup of coffee, a grocery bag, and my car keys all at once. I thought maybe it was another reminder from the pharmacy or one of those spam calls about my car's extended warranty. I fished it out anyway, and when I saw the message notification from my daughter-in-law, I smiled. She doesn't usually text me directly, calls my son, sure, but me. Rare. I slid my thumb across the screen and opened it, expecting maybe a cute picture of the grandkids in matching pajamas. Instead, the words practically screamed in bold letters, "We're all coming for Christmas." For a solid 3 seconds, I thought maybe, all, just meant her, my son, and the 2 kids. Which would have been wonderful. I could manage 4 people in the house without breaking a sweat. But then the second message came through, like a punchline delivered with cruel precision, "There'll be about 25 of us in total. Can't wait." I nearly dropped my coffee on the floor. 25. My brain froze on that number, and I couldn't even sip my drink. I blinked at the phone, rereading it as if maybe I'd miscounted the digits. Maybe it said 2.5, as in 2.5 people, though how half a person would show up for Christmas was beyond me. But no, my eyes didn't lie. 25 people were about to turn my house into a refugee camp with twinkly lights. I sat down heavily on the nearest chair, still gripping the phone like it might explode. My heart raced faster than it had when I got caught speeding back in 1998. I tried to imagine it, 25 bodies crashing through the door, dropping suitcases, piling coats on the staircase, cramming into my kitchen. I pictured them running to my refrigerator like Olympic athletes to a finish line, opening drawers and cabinets, pulling out pots like they were auditioning for a cooking show. My bathroom. Good Lord, my poor bathroom. 1 bathroom downstairs, 1 upstairs. That's 2 toilets for 25 people. That's like handing out 1 umbrella during a thunderstorm and telling everyone to share. The visual was horrifying. I could already hear the knocking, "Is anyone in there? Hurry up," echoing through the walls. The kitchen would look like a battlefield. My dining room table, bless its heart, could barely seat 8 when the leaves were extended. Where was everyone else going to sit? On the stairs? In the garage? Maybe I could set up folding chairs in the driveway like it was a tailgate party. I wasn't even angry, not yet. Just stunned, shocked. My first instinct was denial. They can't actually mean it. Maybe they're joking. But no, my daughter-in-law wasn't one for sarcasm. If she said 25 relatives, then 25 relatives were packing up their minivans, printing Google Maps directions, and heading straight for me. I sat there long enough for my coffee to go cold. And that's when a strange calm washed over me, not panic, not despair, but something sly, something deliciously liberating. Because in that moment, I remembered a little secret. A secret so beautiful it made me want to laugh out loud in my quiet kitchen. I had already booked a trip. Not just any trip, a Christmas escape. Months earlier, when the first chill of fall hit the air and pumpkin spice lattes started invading every corner of America, I'd been browsing travel sites late one night. My finger hovered over the "Book Now" button for a Miami getaway. I told myself I deserved a little break. Sunshine, palm trees, no snow to shovel, no casseroles to bake. Just me, sand between my toes, and the kind of calm you only see in travel magazines. At the time, I felt a little guilty. Who ditches Christmas at home? But now, that ticket was no longer just a vacation, it was salvation. Divine intervention in digital form. I leaned back in my chair, grinning like a maniac. 25 people think they're descending on me. Well, surprise, I won't even be here. I could almost hear the laughter in my head as I imagined the scene. Cars lined up in my driveway, people spilling out with gift bags, aluminum trays of food, and suitcases. The grandkids running ahead, yelling, "Grandma, we're here." Only to find silence. Just a quiet house, decorated neatly, tree standing in the corner, stockings on the mantle, but no me. Maybe I'd leave a note on the fridge. Something polite, something welcoming. "Make yourselves at home. Please don't burn the place down. P.S. There's a plunger under the sink, and you'll probably need it." I chuckled to myself, almost choking on the last sip of lukewarm coffee. The best part, I wouldn't have to cook a single ham, a single turkey, or wash a single dish. There'd be no late-night trips to Walmart for batteries or wrapping paper. No arguments about politics over pie. No kids running laps around the living room until something broke. Just me, stretched out on a beach chair, sipping something fruity with an umbrella sticking out of it, while my family dealt with the joyful madness of togetherness, all without me. I know what you're thinking, heartless, selfish, maybe even cruel. But listen, I've hosted Christmas for decades. I've cooked until my feet ached, cleaned until my hands went raw, smiled through family dramas that could rival reality TV. I've done my time. If there's a Christmas hosting prison, I've already served a life sentence. So this wasn't selfishness, it was freedom earned. Still, a small part of me toyed with the guilt. I imagined my daughter-in-law's face when she realized I wasn't there to play hostess, to run interference between squabbling relatives, or to whip up another round of mashed potatoes. Would she be mad? Maybe. Would she survive? Absolutely. She was the one who invited the army, after all. Let her lead it. I thought about calling her, about breaking the news gently. But then I pictured her trying to talk me out of it, and honestly, I didn't want to be convinced. I wanted this too badly. Besides, a part of me found it hilarious to just let it play out. Let them show up and discover Grandma had taken off for Miami without so much as a warning. Maybe that would teach them not to drop Christmas bombs on me 2 weeks before the holiday. So I decided then and there, I wasn't changing a thing. The ticket stayed booked. The suitcase would get packed. And when the doorbell rang on Christmas Eve, the only thing they'd find was a quiet house and maybe a sticky note on the fridge. That thought alone filled me with so much joy I actually started humming Christmas carols. Not the usual ones either, but little parodies I made up as I went along. Deck the halls with 25 relatives, fa la 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 la, la 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 la. I'll be sipping margaritas, fa la 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 la, la 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 la. For the first time in years, the holidays felt exciting again. Not because of the chaos or the endless to-do lists, but because of the sheer audacity of my plan. I wasn't running from Christmas, I was rewriting it. And as I sat there with my cold coffee and my wicked grin, I realized something. Maybe, just maybe, this was going to be the best Christmas I ever had. The guilt should have hit me harder, but it didn't. I mean, what kind of grandmother bails on Christmas when her family is descending by the truckload? A wicked one, a selfish one, or maybe just a smart one who knows when to call it quits. I sat there with my phone still in my hand, rereading my daughter-in-law's cheerful text, "Can't wait." She had written, as if hosting 25 people in a 3-bedroom house was the kind of thing people dreamed about. I pictured it clearly, her caravan of relatives rolling into town like pioneers heading for the Oregon Trail, except instead of covered wagons they'd have SUVs packed with luggage, slow cookers, and kids hopped up on sugar. My driveway would look like a dealership lot, jammed with minivans. The neighbors would peek out the curtains and whisper, "What on earth is happening over there? Are they filming a reality show?" And the inside of the house. Oh, I could see it now. The front door bursting open, the wave of noise slamming into the walls, every single voice competing to be heard. Someone yelling, "Where do we put the gifts?" Another shouting, "Is there Wi-Fi? What's the password?" The little ones racing up the stairs like it was the starting line at the Kentucky Derby, slamming doors, bouncing on my bed. The older ones arguing over who got the couch, who had to take the air mattress, who was stuck on the floor. Meanwhile, the kitchen would instantly transform into a war zone. My refrigerator could barely hold groceries for me alone, let alone enough food for 25 hungry holiday guests. I imagined hands grabbing for milk, juice, butter, pots clanging, dishes piling up faster than a Las Vegas buffet. Someone would complain the oven wasn't big enough for 2 turkeys. Someone else would decide my brand of coffee wasn't strong enough and send someone out to Starbucks with an order long enough to bankrupt a small country. The bathrooms, oh, the bathrooms were my favorite vision. 25 people and 2 toilets. I nearly laughed out loud at the thought of the lines. My niece's teenage boy pounding on the door while Grandma Edna from Nebraska took her sweet time with her crossword puzzle. Kids banging, "Hurry up, hurry up." Adults snapping, "Go use the upstairs one." Then the upstairs one clogged from too much toilet paper, and the downstairs one out of order from sheer exhaustion. It would be chaos disguised as Christmas cheer. And me, I would be gone. I leaned back in my chair, stretching my legs, letting the beautiful thought roll around in my head. Miami, sunshine, palm trees swaying, a hotel balcony with a view of the ocean. I could almost smell the salt air, hear the waves rolling in, and feel the heat of the sun on my skin. While my family was crammed shoulder to shoulder in my living room singing off-key carols, I'd be sprawled in a beach chair sipping something colorful with an umbrella in it. The idea didn't bring guilt, it brought peace. Peace on earth and goodwill to men, wasn't that the saying? Well, my goodwill was making sure my daughter-in-law got exactly what she wanted, Christmas with her entire family. She never said with me. She said at my house. And I was gracious enough to provide the venue, wasn't I? The house would still be here, decorated, tree twinkling, stockings hung. It just wouldn't come with a live-in hostess. Small detail. I considered the logistics. Should I leave them instructions? A note on the fridge seemed fair. Something like, welcome, make yourselves at home. Please don't burn the place down. There's lasagna in the freezer if you get desperate. P.S. The plunger is under the sink, and the breaker box is in the basement if the Christmas lights blow a fuse. That covered the basics. What else did they need, really? I laughed, thinking of my daughter-in-law's face when she found the note. She'd blink a few times, reread it, maybe laugh nervously, thinking it was a joke. Then realization would sink in, Grandma had skipped town. She might get mad, sure, but eventually, she'd shrug and roll up her sleeves. She was the one who invited the masses, not me. If she wanted to be Queen of Christmas, then she could rule her kingdom right here, complete with clogged toilets, crowded couches, and all. The more I thought about it, the lighter I felt. Years of stress, of cleaning and scrubbing and cooking until my back ached, of staying up past midnight wrapping gifts while everyone else slept, suddenly it all melted away. I wasn't running from responsibility. I was finally giving myself the gift of freedom. Miami became clearer in my mind with every passing second. I pictured the hotel lobby, polished floors shining, a big Christmas tree decorated with seashell ornaments instead of glass balls. I'd check in, smile politely at the desk clerk, take the elevator up to my room, and open the curtains to reveal the ocean stretching endlessly into the horizon. No snow to shovel, no icy sidewalks to slip on. Just sunshine and sand. And the food, oh, the food would be divine. No dry turkey or undercooked green bean casserole. Just fresh seafood, maybe lobster, shrimp cocktails, grilled fish with lemon. I'd order dessert without worrying if I had enough whipped cream in the fridge. Someone else would cook, someone else would clean, and all I'd have to do was show up hungry. Still, a mischievous part of me wondered what stories I'd be missing back home. Because there would be stories. With 25 relatives in one house, there'd be at least one fight, one broken dish, one kid crying because someone stole their stocking candy. Maybe Uncle Frank would fall asleep snoring so loudly that half the house couldn't hear the TV. Maybe the tree would tip over under the weight of too many ornaments. Maybe someone would get food poisoning from the potato salad that sat out too long. I'd miss all of it, and that was the beauty of it. For once, I wouldn't be in the center of the storm. I'd be outside it, watching from a distance, toes in the sand, sipping a margarita while my phone buzzed with frantic texts. I could already see myself posting a picture to the family group chat, my feet in flip-flops, the ocean sparkling in front of me. Caption: Merry Christmas from Miami. The responses would be priceless. Shock, disbelief, maybe even envy. I chuckled again, shaking my head. It was so perfect it almost felt like fate. Who gets a chance like this, really? Who gets 25 relatives dumped on 'em like an avalanche, and already has an escape hatch booked and waiting? It was like the universe had tapped me on the shoulder and whispered, "You've done enough. Go enjoy yourself." So no, the guilt didn't hit me harder. It didn't hit me at all. If anything, I felt lighter than I had in years. And for the first time since my daughter-in-law's fateful text, I was actually excited for Christmas. Christmas morning arrived with a soft glow of sunlight pouring through the thin curtains of my Miami hotel room. It was almost 9, but I'd slept like a rock, no alarm clock, no kids bouncing on my bed, no pots clanging in the kitchen. Just silence broken only by the distant sound of waves kissing the shore. I rolled over, stretched, and let out a deep sigh of relief. This was it. This was the freedom I'd dreamed about, the payoff to my secret rebellion. I padded barefoot to the balcony, sliding open the glass door. The warm breeze hit me instantly, carrying the smell of salt water and sunscreen. Down below, families in swimsuits were already setting up umbrellas on the sand, kids running with buckets, parents half asleep in folding chairs. A man jogged along the shoreline with his dog. The hotel pool glistened turquoise, steam rising faintly in the morning sun. I took out my phone, smiling before I even unlocked it. The texts were already there, like little gifts waiting to be opened. My daughter-in-law had sent the first one at 6:17 a.m. sharp, "We're here." With 3 exclamation marks and a blurry picture of my driveway lined with cars. The next text had come 10 minutes later, "Where are you? Did you step out?" Then at 7:01, "Mom. The door was unlocked, we're inside. Tree looks beautiful. Where are you?" I sipped my coffee, which I'd ordered from room service, rich and dark, not like the watery stuff I usually brewed at home. I typed slowly, deliberately, letting her wait a little longer. Then I snapped the picture, my toes in the sand-colored hotel slippers, propped on the balcony railing, the ocean stretching beyond. "Merry Christmas from Miami," I wrote, and hit send. The 3 dots that signal someone is typing popped up instantly. Then another picture came back, and I nearly spit coffee all over the railing. It was my living room, my sweet, quiet, carefully decorated living room, now crammed like a sardine can with relatives. Kids in pajamas piled on top of each other, adults shoulder to shoulder on the couch, folding chairs jammed against the wall, coats everywhere, wrapping paper already littering the floor. The expressions ranged from bewildered to furious. My son was grinning nervously in the corner, clearly trying to lighten the mood, while my daughter-in-law looked straight into the camera, eyebrows raised so high they could have touched her hairline. Her caption, "You've got to be kidding me." I laughed so hard my stomach hurt. Not cruel laughter, not mean-spirited, but the kind that comes when you realize you've finally pulled off something no one ever thought you'd do. I wrote back, "You said you were bringing the whole family for Christmas. You didn't say I had to be there too." A little petty, sure, but accurate. The responses poured in like fireworks. My niece, "Grandma, you're savage." My nephew, "Honestly, respect." My son, "Really, Mom? Really?" And my daughter-in-law, "You better believe we're talking about this later." I could practically hear the chaos behind each text, the clamor of voices, the crying kids, the demands for food. I leaned back in my chair, phone in hand, and watched the palm trees sway. Let them manage. Let them see what Christmas really takes. For years, I had been the quiet conductor of this holiday orchestra, making sure the music played smoothly while everyone else enjoyed themselves. The tree didn't decorate itself. The stockings didn't fill themselves. The pies didn't bake themselves. Now they'd learn, and maybe, just maybe, they'd appreciate me a little more next year. Still, a twinge of nostalgia tugged at me. I thought about the past Christmases, the ones where the kids were little, running down the stairs at dawn with eyes wide, squealing at the sight of presents piled high. I thought about my late husband, humming along to Bing Crosby while carving the turkey. There was warmth in those memories, comfort in the tradition. But lately, it had all become too much, too many people, too much work, too little joy left for me. Maybe I wasn't abandoning Christmas. Maybe I was reclaiming it. By mid-morning, I was strolling down the beach, sandals in hand, waves lapping at my ankles. A band was playing Christmas songs near the pier, jazzed-up versions with steel drums and saxophones. Tourists in Santa hats snapped pictures under palm trees wrapped with lights. I bought a coconut drink from a vendor and sat on the sand, phone buzzing every so often with more updates from the house. At 10:32, a picture arrived of my upstairs bathroom door with a line of 6 people waiting outside it. Caption: "We need more toilets." At 11:15, another photo, the kitchen counter buried under a mountain of Tupperware, crockpots, and aluminum trays, everyone arguing about oven space. Caption: "We need a bigger kitchen." At noon, a video of the tree tipping over because 2 toddlers had tried to climb it like a jungle gym. Caption: "We need you." That last one made me pause. I stared at it, at the toppled tree and the chaos and the desperate note in my daughter-in-law's voice. For a second, guilt pricked me. Was I wrong to leave them with the mess? Should I have stayed, put on the apron, kept the peace like always? But then I looked around me, the bright blue sky, the ocean sparkling, strangers laughing and clinking glasses, the pure absence of stress in the air. I thought about how long it had been since I'd felt this light, this free. No, I wasn't wrong. I was showing them that Christmas wasn't about who carried the weight, it was about sharing it. If they couldn't handle 25 relatives without me, maybe they'd think twice before pulling a stunt like this again. Dinner that night was a feast at a seaside restaurant, string lights overhead, waves crashing just beyond the patio. I ordered lobster tail and champagne, the waiter smiling when I told him it was my first Christmas away from home. Around me, other families laughed and celebrated, some wearing ugly sweaters over their swimsuits, others toasting with tropical cocktails. The air smelled of garlic butter and salt. Back at the house, I knew, the noise would be deafening, the food lukewarm, the cleanup endless. I imagined them opening gifts elbow to elbow, paper flying everywhere, kids crying when batteries were missing. I imagined my daughter-in-law, exhausted, slumping into a chair with a glass of wine, finally realizing what I'd shouldered all those years. Later, back in my hotel room, I lay in bed with the balcony door cracked open, the sound of waves soothing me. I scrolled one last time through the flood of family texts and photos. They were managing, barely, but managing, and oddly enough, there was something sweet in watching it from afar. The chaos didn't touch me, but the love was still there, still visible in the laughter between the complaints, in the smiles hidden among the frustration. And that's when it hit me. This was it. This was the new tradition. Every year, they could have my house, my tree, my space. And every year, I'd mysteriously travel. They'd bond, they'd struggle, they'd argue and laugh and make memories together. And me, I'd finally have Christmas too, the kind of Christmas that filled me with joy, even if it came with palm trees instead of pine. Because sometimes, the best way to love your family is from 1,200 miles away. And as I drifted off to sleep that night, the sound of the ocean lulling me, I knew without a doubt that this had been the perfect Christmas.